Welcome back to another Game Dev Club tutorial. We'll be making our GameStates today, so fun. GameStates, pretty much every screen of the game. We went over this during Pong, so I'm not going to get too much into it. So, yeah, let's make our package here, GameStates. Now I'm just gonna blast through this because you guys already know all about GameStates from what's the game? From Pong. So alright. So public GameState. That's gonna take in a GameState Manager in a second. Protected abstract void init. You guys remember this? And we call init up here. Okay, and then we do public abstract void. We can copy this. Handle up. Handle input. And then we have update. Float dt. And we have draw. It takes in the delta time, the sprite batch. Make sure to import that. And the shape renderer, which we will be using both of those in this game. Oh, make sure you import that. And finally, or actually, we have two more. Resize int width. Okay. So we have width and int height. So this will be our resize method and dispose at the end, of course. So yeah, so let's go ahead and make our GameState Manager. So GameState Manager. Alright, so we have this. Now let's just make sure we have this. So protected GameState Manager GSM, and just go ahead and import that. And then GameState Manager GSM this dot GSM is equal to GSM. There we go. Alright, so that's that. You can pause it right now and just copy this. You should know how to make a game state from Pong, so yeah. Now let's go ahead and make our GameState Manager. Let me just go over to that on my GitHub repo on the iPad over here, GameState Manager. Okay. So this takes a private GameState. Okay, so we're gonna import this, but we're gonna go ahead and edit this import to make it a star so that we get all of them. Private sprite batch SB. Hold on, let's import that. Oh my god. SB private shape render, import that SR, and then start with our constructor. So public GameState Manager states, import that state. Now remember, we're actually doing this a little differently. As you if you remember, we made our my constants. We had our states enum here. So we're gonna get our states from that instead of numbers, and so instead of constant numbers. So new sprite batch SR equals new shape renderer, and then set state. Say so. Public void set state state. So I just have a state up here in the constructor so that we can just go into game and change the the first game state that it starts off with no problem. So first, of course, we want if game state is not equal to null, game state dot meaning if there was already an instance of game state, then dispose of it. Now the state is equal to states.splash. We can keep this empty. We're just gonna put a to-do in our instantiate splash state. Let's fix our spelling error. To-dos are a good way of keeping track in your code what you need to do. So title, and they're good little shortcuts because you have this right here. Oops. Play. No, let's change this title. And finally, game over. So play, game over. Alright, awesome. Our next step would be to make all of our methods. So public void handle input GameState handle input public void update float dt GameState update, it takes in that dt, public void draw, takes in another float dt, and so GameState draw is the dt, the sprite batch into shape renderer. Public void resize GameState dot resize with height, and public void dispose. Oh, I forgot to give this the width and height. Width and height. Sorry about that. Okay, and then GameState dot dispose. And on the GitHub repo, I apparently forgot to dispose the sprite batch and the shape renderer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. sp.dispose, sr.dispose. Okay, so this class is actually done, except for, of course, the play states that don't exist. So let's go ahead and make a new class. I'm just gonna call it empty state. Alright, and then I'm gonna, superclass selection, GameState, finish. So, alright, there you go, sorry. I forgot to check off the constructor from inherited class. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, and I will just leave that there so that we can copy. And make this play state. Paste it again, and let's make a splash state. Let's make a title state and a game over state. And then we can delete this. Okay, so game state is equal to new splash state. This. And we can go ahead and copy that. Here, here, and here. Change this to title. Change this to play. And change this to game over. Alright. So next we are going to add the GameState Manager to our game class. And so first of all, let's go ahead and get rid of this texture and sprite batch. Wonder if there's a way to source. I doubt it, but that's okay. So let's just delete this. Delete this and delete all this and change her clear color to black, and then get rid of these imports that we don't need. Okay, awesome. So awesome. Alright, so next thing we gotta do, let's we can actually finish up our entire game class right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Public static final string title equals space invaders. Alright, so public static vector2, remember this is an x and a y coordinate, size and center, private GameState Manager GSM, and then we're going to make our FPS, our frame rate counter. So private int FPS frames, private float FPS time. Well, okay. FPS time and then content rise. Okay. So first we want to do a initialize size. So float width, I'm not paying attention, width equals gdx.graphics.get width. We can go ahead and copy this and make it height. Make this get height. And then we have game.size equals new vector 2. Game.center equals new vector 2. Right, and the reason I'm doing it like this, because we're just going to copy and paste this into the resize method. So width and height, and then we have game.center.set to width and height, and then this is times 0.5f, and this is also times 0.5f. And we can go ahead, copy this, and then put it in. We don't have a resize method yet, or dispose. So go ahead and override implement methods, resize and dispose after save, or actually after render. And yeah, okay. So go ahead into your resize, paste that. You can delete everything in here for now. Actually, just do a res.remove all. Yeah, and then game.save. Alright, now we start our FPS counter. That's the next thing we want to do. So, initialize frame rate counter. Alright, so FPS time is equal to 0, FPS is equal to 0, frames is equal to 0. Alright, then go ahead and go into render. Float dt is equal to gdx.graphics.get delta time. Remember, delta time's the amount of time in seconds between each frame. So we're going to go ahead and do FPS time plus equals dt frames plus plus. Now, if FPS time is greater than 1, FPS is equal to frames, frames is equal to 0, and FPS time is equal to 0. Then we have a gdx.graphics.set title game.title plus a bar plus FPS plus FPS. I'm pretty sure we did this in, well, in Pong, so you won't have to worry. Okay, so that's that. Now we just need to put in our GameState Manager. So go ahead, and after you get your high score, just initialize GameState Manager GSM equals new GameState GameState Manager states, and for now we're gonna do play. We're gonna change it to splash once we're done with the play state. Okay, so now in render we want to do gsm.handleInput, gsm.update, and then we want gsm.draw. And then in resize, we're going to go ahead and call gsm.resize, and then dispose, we're going to go ahead and call that before we save, so gsm.dispose. Alright, so we have one more warning. That's our score because we haven't done anything in the play state. So let's go ahead and just test this out. Let's go into our play state and let's just have a sysout init, sysout handle input, and let's do a sysout update, sysout draw, and then sysout dispose, and then we'll check resize in a second. Oops. Dispose. Alright. Cool, so it should run. You should get a blank screen. It should say Space Invaders, and right now it's about 50 frames. It should be 60. But this is recording and whatever. So as you can see, we have up here, we have our init, and then we have handle input, update draw, handle input, update draw, and that happens for its entire life cycle until it disposes. So let's go ahead and delete all of these, and let's put one in resize, sysout resize. Okay. Well, there you go. Resize. Okay, we can go ahead and delete that, and I accidentally left this init here. Our next thing we need to do is actually in the desktop launcher. I've been forgetting to do this. I'm just like finishing the setup so that we can start actually making the game. So let's go into our desktop manager, and let's set the width and the height to be the constants. So here we go. So config.width equals my constants.world width, and then config.height is equal to my constants.world height, and then we're gonna add our icons because we have little icons that I just like took off the school website, school website's icon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that in. Config.add icon string path icon / win.png not slash dot. File type dot internal. Now see, file type is an enum. So yeah, dot internal. Internal basically means it's in this assets folder. So we have icons. We've got add to window icon. Icons are tried in the order added. The first one works as used. Typically 3 icons should be provided, 128 by 128 for Mac, 32 by 32 for Windows and Linux, and 16 by 16 for Windows. So let's go ahead and just make this Mac because it wants it to do it in the order that it's chosen to. And let's run it. And we should be getting our icon up at the top, and it should be a rather small viewport. Let me just double check our 350. You can resize it, but this is just the default viewport. So yeah, that should be it for today. Next time I'm gonna have you guys start entities. I'm just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna make all the entities in one go. It's gonna be fun because I'd rather have not that many long videos than have a ton of short videos. So yeah, there's 9, but okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, come to me, talk to me. I will get them answered for you. And yeah, and so Skype, email, school, during club is a perfect time to ask me questions about any of this. And yeah, so I'll see you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.